Hello student, all up. You are most welcome on my channel, that is Liberty Solution. Today's video is related with the topic of class 12th biology, chapter number 1, reproduction in living organism. These videos are useful for those students who are preparing for their Cbse board examination as well as their medical entrance test examination. So like, comment, share it with your friends to get many more videos related with class 11th and class 12th biology. So let us start this chapter, that is reproduction in living organism. So we'll be doing what? This reproduction in living organism. So what is the reproduction? Reproduction is a process. It is a process in which an organism produces young one. That is, young one, they are also known as offspring, similar to itself. Like this is a penguin, penguin giving birth to baby penguin. So this is a reproduction. Period from birth to natural death of organism is called lifespan. Sometime in board examination, this will be question will be there. What do you mean by lifespan? So the period from birth to natural death, not accidental death, should be natural death. That period is called lifespan of the organism. No individual is immortal. So no individual is immortal except unicellular organism like amoeba. There is no natural death in unicellular organism. Based on the number of participants, reproduction is two types, asexual and sexual. So reproduction is two types. It is based on the number of participants. So first we'll be discussing what lifespan of different organisms. So lifespan of organism, some organism. So here there is a table, this table. Here organism, lifespan. So rose completes its lifespan within 5 to 7 years. Rice plant 3 to 7 months. Banyan tree 400 plus years. Banana tree 2 to 3 years. Dog 22 years. Butterfly 1 to 2 weeks. Fruit fly 2 weeks. Parrot 140 years. Crocodile 60 years. Horse 40 to 50 years. Tortoise 100 to 150 years. Crows 15 years. Cows 22 years. Elephant 50 to 70 years. These are the lifespan of different organisms. Now we'll be discussing about what is asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction, it is the reproduction of offspring by a single parent. This is a parent, it is a single parent. From this parent, another plant is developing. There are new baby plants are developing. There is no involvement of more than one parent. From single parent, more new offsprings are produced. It is seen in unicellular organism, like this is unicellular organism, bacteria, paramecium. It is also seen in simple plants and animals. The offspring are identical to one another and to their parent. Such morphologically and genetically similar individuals are called clone. So sometimes the question is there, what is clone? So they are the product of asexual reproduction, and they are what? Morphologically and genetically similar to among themselves as well as with their parents. Now there are various types of asexual reproduction. It may be fission, budding, vegetative propagation. Fission may be binary fission or multiple fission. So now we'll be discussing these one by one. Now what is fission? In this, the parent cell divides. This is a parent cell. It will divide. That is called cell division. So in cell division, there is a nucleus divide that is called karyokinesis. Then cytoplasm divide that is called cytokinesis. So here in this, the parent cell divide that because of cell division into two or more individuals. Examples, protists and monorems. Fission is two types, binary fission and multiple fission. What is binary fission? It is the division of parent cell. This is a parent cell. Parent cell is dividing. Ultimately, first nucleus will divide. Here in this, this is a case of paramecium. Paramecium is having two nucleus, one micronucleus, one meganucleus. So this paramecium will divide, and ultimately from single parent cell two baby paramecium will be produced. So this is called binary fission in paramecium. Then there is a multiple fission in plasmodium. Plasmodium is nothing, it is what? It causes malaria, malarial parasite. So amoeba and paramecium, they show what? Binary fission. Multiple fission, it is the division of parent cell into many individuals. So this is a parent cell. Here this is a nucleus, this is cytoplasm, then this cell, this is cytosol. Now this nucleus will divide into many. And ultimately from single parent, many plasmodium will develop. It is reported in plasmodium as well as amoeba. This is what multiple fission in uncysted amoeba. Under unfavorable condition, if the conditions are not favorable, amoeba withdraw its pseudopodia and secrete a three-layered hard covering. This is amoeba. It will, if conditions are unfavorable, it will secrete wall. How many layered will be there? Three-layered wall. And this wall is called cyst around itself. It is called incystation. Under favorable condition, incysted amoeba this amoeba will undergo multiple fission to give many minute amoeba or pseudopodiospore. When the condition will become favorable, incysted amoeba will divide into many, that is called pseudopodiospore. Then the cyst wall bursts out and spores are liberated to grow up into many amoeba. This is called sporulation. Then there is a budding. Now what is budding? In this, it is a method of asexual reproduction. Here, a bud appears and grows in the parent body. This is a parent. This is the nucleus. There will be unequal division of nucleus. Some portion of nucleus will be there in parent cell, and some portion will go in a smaller outgrowth that is called bud. After maturation, it is detached. This bud will be detached from the body, parent's body to form new individual. So budding is reported in hydra. This is hydra. This is a bud in hydra. It is also reported in sperms, like gemmules in sperms, and it is also reported in yeast. This is what yeast. So budding is reported in hydra, sperm, yeast. Now fragmentation. In this, the body breaks into distinct pieces. This is a body. It is divided into two parts. This is intact parent body. Then it is divided. Now this portion one, this portion two. It is having upper part, and this portion is having upper part but not basal part. This portion is having basal part but not upper part. So this portion will develop basal part, and this portion will develop what? Upper part. So from single parent to hydra will be developing. So here body is broken down into two pieces, and sometimes many pieces as well. So it is also reported in hydra. There is one more example where budding, this fragmentation takes place. That is what? Planaria. This is the planaria. It is a flat wall. Body is divided into broken into three parts: upper part, middle parts, and lower part. Now, upper part, the piece that is having upper part, it will develop middle portion as well as lower portion. Ultimately, it will become what? Complete individual. This middle portion will develop upper part as well as lower part, and ultimately it will become complete individual. This lower piece will develop what? Middle part as well as upper part, and ultimately it will become what? Complete individual. So this is what? Fragmentation in planaria. Then there is a what? Vegetative propagation. There is a what? Vegetative propagation. It is the production. It is the production of offspring from vegetative propagules in plants. So vegetative propagation is reported in plants. Vegetative propagules are units of vegetative propagations. Like here, these are the eyes parts of potato. Eyes of potato. These are the eyes of potatoes. This is rhizome of ginger. This is what? Rhizome of ginger. This is what? Bulbil of agave. This is leaf buds of bryophylla. And this is offset of water hyacinth. So in potato, vegetative propagules are eyes. In ginger, they are rhizome. In agave, they are bulbils. In bryophyllum, leaf buds. And in water hyacinth, vegetative propagules are offsets. So buds, that is eyes of the potato tuber, rhizome of banana and ginger. Buds and rhizome are arise from nodes of modified stem. The nodes come in contact with the damp soil or water and produces roots and new plants. There are adventitious root buds of bryophyllum. They arise from the notches at margin of leaves. These are the notches. These are the margin. At this margin, some notches are there. From there, this bud will develop. So bulbil of agave, vegetative propagule of agave is bulbil. Offset of water hyacinth, this is water hyacinth, it is also known as ecornia. Runners, suckers, tuber, bulb, these are some other vegetative propagules present in plant. Apart from these, there are some other asexual reproductive structure like zoospores. Zoospores are microscopic motile structure present in some algae and protists like Chlamydomonas. This is a Chlamydomonas is producing what? Zoospores. These are the asexual structure, zoospores. Asexual these may be what? Conidia also. Conidia means these are asexual structure in penicillium, and then in sperms asexual structure are gemmules. Sometimes question will be there, match in the color. What are zoospores? Asexual reproductive structure. What are the asexual reproductive structure in penicillium? Conidia. and sperm gemule. Asexual reproduction is a common method in simple organisms like algae, fungi. During adverse conditions, they shift to sexual method. Higher plants reproduce asexually, that is vegetatively and sexually. But most of the animals show only sexual reproduction. So these are what? A is what? Zoospora Chlamydomonas. This is Conidia penicillia. Then these are the gemmules of sperms. Now we'll be discussing about sexual reproduction. Now what is sexual reproduction? It is the reproduction that involves formation of male and female gametes. There will be production of male and female gametes, either by same individual. These male gametes and female gametes may be produced by same individual or by different individuals of opposite sex. It results in offspring. The product of sexual reproduction is offspring that are not identical to the parents or among themselves. There is some variation is there. It is an elaborate, sexual reproduction is elaborate, complex, and slow process as compared to asexual reproduction. The period of growth to reach in the maturity of sexual reproduction is called juvenile phase. In plant, it is also called vegetative phase. In higher plant, the flowering indicates the end of vegetative phase, that is beginning of reproductive phase. Annual and biennial plants show clear-cut vegetative, reproductive, and senescent phase. In perennial plants mean those plants which complete their life cycle in many years, that is called perennials. These phases are very difficult to identify. Which plant is in which stage, vegetative, reproductive, or senescent phase. It is very difficult to identify in perennial plants. Now, some plants exhibit unusual flowering. Example, bamboo. Bamboo species flower only once in their life. After 50 to 100 years, produce large number of fruits and dies. This is bamboo flowers. Strobilanthus kunthiana. This is what Strobilanthus kunthiana flower once in 12 years. So these are what some plants which show unusual flower, bamboo as well as Strobilanthus kunthiana. Bamboo flowers bear flowers only once in their lifetime after 50 to 100 years, and Strobilanthus kunthiana flower once in 12 years. In animals, juvenile phase is followed by morphological and physiological changes prior to active reproductive behavior. Birds living in nature lay eggs only seasonally. This is a bird living in nature. They will be laying the egg in particular season. However, birds in captivity like poultry can be made to lay eggs throughout the year. The females of placental mammals exhibit cyclical changes in the ovaries. This is an ovary. There will be some cyclical changes. Small follicles are there, then they will become larger. Then egg will be released. This is a small follicle, growing follicles. This is grown up natural follicle. On 14th day of menstrual cycle, this follicle will release ovum. And ultimately, if this ovum is getting fertilized, this follicle will be converted into corpus luteum, and it will start secreting pregnancy hormones. If the egg is not fertilized, then there will be no formation of corpus luteum. Again, this cycle will start. So this cycle is called what? Menstrual cycle. So cyclical changes is called estrous cycle in non-primate. There are two types of cyclical changes: estrous cycle and menstrual cycle. So estrous cycle takes place in non-primate. Non-primate means cow, sheep, rat, deer, dog, tiger. They show a estrous cycle and menstrual cycle in primates like monkeys, apes, and humans. They show a menstrual cycle. Based on breeding season, animals are two types: seasonal breeders and continuous breeders. Seasonal breeders means the mammals living in natural conditions exhibit reproductive cycles only during favorable seasons, like this goat, cows, cat, dog. They are what? Seasonal breeder. Continuous breeder means they are reproductively active throughout their reproductive phase. They may be what? Rabbit, rat, human beings. They are continuous breeder. Now, last phase of where there is one phase that is called senescence phase, that is old age. What is the character? It is the last phase of lifespan and ends of reproductive phase. During this, concomitant changes occur in body, example, slowing of metabolism. It ultimately leads to death. So these are what's, so there are three phases, that is vegetative phase, that is juvenile phase, then reproductive phase, then senescence phase, and ultimately senescence lead to death. In plant and animal, hormones causes transition between juvenile, reproductive, and senescence phases. There are some hormones which are responsible. They are responsible for transition between animal, juvenile phase, reproductive phase, and senescence phase. Interaction between hormones and environmental factors regulate the reproductive process and the associated behavioral expression of organism. During sexual reproduction, there are some events. Events are stages in sexual reproduction. So there are three stages: pre-fertilization stage, then fertilization stage, then post-fertilization stage. In pre-fertilization stages, there is what gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Now we'll be learning about all these phases. What is pre-fertilization event? The event prior to fusion of gamete. This is male gamete, that is sperm. This is a female gamete, that is ovum in case of human beings. Here these are the male gamete and female gamete. They are similar, so isogamous. This is what dissimilar, oogamous. Okay, so here in the pre-fertilization event, there are two sub-events: gametogenesis and gamete transfer. These are different types of pollen grains: shape, size, color, texture. It is what varies. What happens in case of gametogenesis? It is the formation of male and female gamete. So process of formation of male and female gamete, that is called gametogenesis. Gametes, they are haploid cells. There are two types: homogametes, isogametes, heterogametes. Isogametes are cladophora. These are what two male and female gamete. Morphologically, they are similar. Heterogametes are ficus. Ficus is an alga. This is what small male gamete and very big female gamete. So that is called heterogametes of ficus. And heterogametes are Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens means human being. This is a female gamete, and that is ovum. And these are what male gamete, that is sperm. There are large numbers of sperms are released during the process of ejaculation. Now, what is homogametes? They are also known as isogametes. Homogametes are also known as similar gametes. They cannot categorize into male and female gamete, like some algae like cladophora. Heterogamete means male and female gametes are distinct type. Male gametes is called entherozoid or sperm. What is the other name of male gamete? Sperm or entherozoids. In plant, they are known as entherozoids. In animal, they are known as sperm. And in female gamete is called egg or ovum. Fucus is an example of heterogametes. It is an alga and human beings. So sometimes question will be there. Name, give one example of algae which shows what which shows heterogametes. So that is hookers. Now we'll be discussing about sexuality, bisexual or unisexual in organism. What is bisexual? The male and female reproductive structure present in same individual. So this is what earthworm. Here it is having ovary as well as testes within same individual. So male and female reproductive organs are present in same. They are called what bisexual. Example, when hibiscus is a plant and pyazum is also a plant, this shows what bisexual. In flowering plant, male flower is called staminate, that bears stamen, and female flower is called pistillate, that bears pistil. If male and female flowers are present on same plant, it is called monoecious. Example, cucurbits. Here, male sex organ and female sex organ are present in same plant, that is called monoecious, that is cucurbits and coconut. Bisexual animals, hermaphrodite, they are also known as hermaphrodite. Example, earthworm, the both male and female sex organ are present in same individual, like earthworm, leech, sponge, tapeworm, they are what? Bisexual. Bisexual animal, earthworm. Unisexual animal, cockroach. Monoecious plant, chara. Dioecious plant, markensia. Bisexual flower, sweet potato. This is what bisexual plant. Male and female reproductive structures are present on different individuals, so they are called what? Unisexual. Uni means single sex. Only one sex organ is present in one individual. So unisexual. If male and female flowers are present on different plant, it is called dioecious. Example, papaya and date palm. Unisexual animals, cockroach. This is a male cockroach. This is a female cockroach. Cockroach, higher animal. They are what? Unisexual animals. Fungi may be homothallic, bisexual, or heterothallic, or unisexual. Now, when there is a gamete formation, there is what? Cell division. So many monerans, fungi, algae, and bryophytes have haploid parental bodies. So they produce haploid gamete by mitosis. So gamete may be produced by both mitosis as well as meiosis. If the parent body is haploid, then the gamete will be produced by the process mitosis. But if parent body is diploid, then gamete will be produced by meiosis. Like pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperms, that animals have diploid parental body. They produce haploid gamete by meiosis or meiocyte. Meiocyte means gamete mother cell. Now here, the name of organism and number of chromosome. So human being having in diploid state, how many chromosomes are there? 46. In gamete, 23. Housefly, 12. Diploid, 12. Haploid, 6. Rat, 42. Diploid, haploid, 21. Dog, diploid, 78. Haploid, 39. Cat, diploid, 38. Haploid, 90. Fruit fly, diploid, 8. And haploid, 4. Ophioclosum, it is an animal. It is having a diploid 1260 chromosome per cell. Here, they are in gamete, they are having 630 chromosome. Apple 30, 34 diploid, haploid 17. Rice 24 chromosome diploid, 12 chromosome haploid. Maize 20 chromosome in diploid, and in haploid there are 10 chromosomes. Potato, they are having 48 chromosome in diploid and 24 chromosome in haploid. Butterfly, they are having 380 chromosome in diploid and they are having 190 chromosome in haploid. Onion, they are having 16 chromosome haploid, diploid, and 8 chromosome in haploid. So these are the numbers of chromosome in haploid diploid cell. Now, after gametogenesis, there is a second event that is called gamete transfer. Male gametes need a medium to move towards female gamete for fertilization. These are male gametes. And they need some medium for fertilization. In most organisms, male gametes is motile and female gamete is stationary. In some fungi and algae, both types of gametes are motile. Both male and female are motile. Motile means they can move from one place to another. In simple plant like algae, bryophytes, and pteridophytes, gamete transfer takes place through water medium. To compensate the loss of male gamete during transport, large number of male gamete is produced. So during transportation, many male gamete will get what? Distracted, they may get destroyed, and they will not be able to reach at the female gamete. That's why to compensate this, the large number of male gamete is produced in comparison to female gamete. In seed plant, pollen grains are produced in anther. They carry male gamete and ovule carries the egg. Pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. In bisexual self-fertilizing plant like example peas, these are what bisexual self-fertilizing. Anther and stigma are close to each other, so transfer of pollen grain is easy. See, this is stigma, this is the pollen grains, anthers are close to each other, so there will be pollination will be easy. In cross-pollinating plant, including dioecious plant, pollination help in transfer of pollen grains. So what is pollination? Pollination process which help in the transfer of pollen grain. Pollen grains germinate on the stigma. These are the pollen grains. They will be germinating on the stigma. And they will develop the pollen tube carrying the male gamete, which is the ovule, and discharge the male gamete near the egg. In dioecious animals, the fertilization helps for the successful transfer and coming together of the gametes. Now, fertilization, this is a sperm, male gamete, this is a ovum, that is female gamete. They will fuse together. In that process is called fertilization, and then after fertilization, it will develop into zygote. This fusing nucleus, they will fuse together, they will produce zygote. Fertilization is also known as syngamy. So it is the fusion of gamete to form a diploid zygote. In rotifers, honeybees, some lizard, birds, turkey, female gamete develop to new organism without fertilization. This is a what? Gamete. Gamete, that is egg without fertilization, develops into new individual. This is called parthenogenesis. This is called what? Parthenogenesis. So here, this is a diploid female bee. It under it produces gamete by the process of meiosis. So meiosis, then diploid will become haploid. It produces egg. Without fertilization, no fertilization, it develops into haploid male bees. So we can say this male bee, they don't have father. But female bee are not produced without fertilization. So they may be having grandfather. So diploid female bee is there, meiosis, then egg will fertilize with the haploid male bee. It will no meiosis here. There will be no meiosis because it is haploid. So there will be production of sperm by mitosis. So there will be fertilization. After fertilization, there will be production of diploid female bees. So this female bee is a product of fertilization, and this male is product of what? Non-fertile. There is no fertilization. So we can say this male bee, they don't have father, but they are having grandfather, maternal grandfather. Types of fertilization, there are different types of fertilization. One of them is external fertilization or internal fertilization. Now, what is external fertilization? Here, fusion of male gamete and female gamete, that is called SYNGAMY, occurs in the external medium, that may be water. Here, that is, zygote is formed outside of the body. So these are what male and female. They both of them release their what. Most aquatic organisms like many algae, bony fishes, and amphibians, they shows what external fertilization. Such organisms show synchrony between the sexes and release large number of gametes into surrounding medium to ensure syngamy. Not only male gamete, but female gametes are also produced in large amount. What is disadvantage of external fertilization? The offsprings are extremely vulnerable to predators, threatening their survival up to adulthood. So, like male fish spread the sperm or eggs, female fish lay eggs, and then male will come and spread sperm over this. So, this is called what external fertilization reported in what amphibians and bony fishes. Then there is internal fertilization. What happened here? Here, a syngamy occurs inside the body of organism. Syngamy means fusion of male and female gamete. Here, terrestrial organism belonging to fungi, animals, reptiles, birds, mammals, and plants, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, and angiosperm show internal fertilization. In this, the non-motile egg is formed inside the female body to where motile male gametes reaches and fuses. In seeded plant, the non-motile male gametes are carried to female gamete by pollen tube. There is a large number of sperm produced, but the number of eggs is very low in case of what internal fertilizers. So these are the testicles in these birds. There are sperm tubes are there, so sperms are released, and there is a ovarian tube, and there is a ovary. So this sperm will fuse with this eggs, and there will be production of a zygote. So this is what internal fertilization in cock and hen. Now, the event after the formation of zygote, that is called post-fertilization event. So all those events which are taking place after the formation of zygote, that is called post-fertilization event. That is, development of zygote depends on the type of life cycle of organism and nature of the environment. In fungi and algae, zygote develops a thick wall that is resistant to desiccation and damage. It undergoes a period of rest before germination. In organisms with haplontic life cycle, zygote divides by meiosis into haploid spores that grows into haploid induced. So once zygote is formed, it will if the plant the organism so haplontic life cycle, it will divide by meiosis. Sexually reproducing organisms begin life as a zygote. So zygote is the vital link between organism of one generation and the next. So what is the link between two generations? Zygote. The answer will be what? Zygote. So what is another term? Embryogenesis. It is the development of embryo from zygote. So process of development of embryo from zygote, that is called embryogenesis.